Welcome back to the residual rebate system, part 2, the shared array rebates. Basically, the shared rebate system comes from the shared rebate pool. And again, as we mentioned earlier, those are the first rebates generated by members' purchases up to $20. Now, how these get distributed is through the Worldwide Shoppers Club array. Every member receives an array position when they join. So that big M there in the middle, that would be a new member that joined, and that's their array. And what will happen is that will start to fill up as they invite new members, and then their members invite members. And it's set up in a very specific format. As you can see here by the color coding and the fact that it goes from a circle to a group and then continues to ripple out into ever-expanding numbers. Only active members, those generating at least $10 of rebates to put into the pool, receive from the shared pool. And they receive shared personal purchase rebates and shared group residual rebates. And we're going to take a look at each one of those. So as far as their personal shopping rebates, here's the rule. An active member receives 50% of the rebates generated from their personal shopping until their shopping group rebates exceed it. I think the best way to explain this is just to give you an example. Let's suppose someone did personal shopping of $180. And let's suppose they were getting 10% rebate from the merchants. So that would be $18 of rebates that they generated. They receive 50% of that as a shared personal shopping rebate, and that would be $9. So the remaining 50% would go into the shared pool. However, if they start developing a shopping group, things can change. Let's start with someone who doesn't have a shopping group. Well, they would continue to receive $9. And by the way, that $9 would equal a 5% rebate on the $180. Now let's suppose they did start a small shopping group and their group shopping rebates was $5. Well, their total rebate would still be $9 because the $9 of their personal shopping rebate is larger than the $5 of their group shopping rebate. So again, their total rebate on the amount of purchases they made would still be 5%. But now let's suppose their shopping group was a little bit larger and they were making $25 in shopping group rebates. These rebates are now larger than their personal shopping rebates, so those are the ones they would receive. Another way to look at it is now they'd be receiving a $25 rebate on their $180 personal shopping, which would now equal 13.8%. So to sum it up, basically the shared personal shopping rebates are for those people who are either brand new or haven't had time to develop a shopping group yet. The real question shouldn't be, how did I receive my rebates? The question always should be in your mind, how many rebates am I receiving in proportion to the amount of money I'm spending with the Worldwide Shoppers merchants? Without a doubt, your time is much better spent on creating group shopping rebates as opposed to personal shopping rebates. So let's take a look at those. Shared shopping group rebates starts by creating a shopping circle. A shopping circle is completed when an active member has 3 new active members. So let's take a look at that. First of all, here's the new member. The first member, you receive $5 per month in rebates. The second member will generate another $5 a month in rebate, or a total of $10 per month. And the third active member to complete your shopping circle will generate $15 a month in rebates for a total of $25. Now, absolutely, this shopping circle is the prime mover for creating a large shopping group because everybody wants to get at least enough rebates to cover their membership fees. So what happens? Well, you naturally start creating a shopping group. Let's go back and look at your 3 active members who are directly connected in your array. Now those 3, as they invite 3, will actually start to fill in your array. Now let's suppose you invited 3 more. Well, those 3 more would get gifted into your group according to a process called the rules of order. And the reason they're positioned where they are in the picture that you're looking at is because everything in between them and you has been filled by other active members creating shopping circles or inviting more personal invites that are also gifted into the group. So in this way, we help one another to build a large shopping group. And basically, as this occurs, the shopping group expands and generates more shopping group rebates. So let's show how simple the system is by showing how members receive rebates through the shared residual rebate chart. Let's just briefly look at the left-hand column. First of all, this clearly states that this is the Worldwide Shoppers Club shared array that this chart represents. And that comes from the shared rebate pool. And the way people get into that pool is having a minimum $10 rebates. That's all it takes to qualify to receive the rebates from this chart. Now the rebates one receives are listed in the blue columns that relate to the number of members in their shopping group that show up in the green columns. The additional requirements listed at the bottom left are also shown on the chart. If you only have 1 active member in your shopping circle, you'll only receive 25% of the rebates. 2 active members would be 50%, and you need to have all 3 active members in a shopping circle to receive 100% of the rebates you're eligible for the size of the group you have. So that's 2 very powerful reasons to complete your shopping circle. Number 1, to make that first $25 to cover your membership fees, and number 2, to get 100% of all the rebates that you're eligible for. And I just want to mention here that these requirements are the same for all aspects of the residual rebate system, even for all the overage rebates, which we're going to talk about next. Now, another thing I want to point out on this chart is you'll see some large numbers and some small numbers. Let me explain what that's all about. If you look at the large number 25 and the large number 125, what we want you to understand is the number of steps it takes to go from the large 3 to the large 24 and how many new members it takes to cover each of those steps. Because each of these green numbers on the chart is where you receive additional rebates displayed by the blue numbers on the right. So to go from 3, where you're receiving $25 in rebates, there's one step at 9 to get 45, there's another step at 15 to get 75, there's another step at 18 to get 90, and there's another step at 24 to get 125. So if you look at that, we average out the number of new members per step, or as 4 steps with an average of 5 new members, to go from 3 to 24 members and $25 to $125 in rebates. Now as the chart gets larger, the steps in between the increases of rebates also get larger. For example, to go from $250 in rebates to $500 in rebates, there's 7 steps with an average of 12 new members. But the point is, it's actually easier to cover those steps because now you have 75 people working with you to get those 12 new members. Let's look at one more. To go from $2,000 in rebates to $5,000 in rebates, there's 3 steps with an average of 270 new members. And again, if you look in there, you have 500, 700, and 1,000 people helping you get those 270 new members to move to an advanced rebate. From $20,000 to $40,000 in rebates, it's 4 steps with 1,000 new members each. But again, you're working with 4,500 new members to help you get those thousands. Less than 1 in 4 would have to bring on a new member for you to move up to the next rebate levels, which jumps by $5,000, each increase at this level of the chart. So that is the residual rebate chart and how a member receives rebates through the Worldwide Shoppers shared array. Now that you understand the steps to receive additional rebates, this chart will be represented in presentations in a shorter form. Rather than have the 2 columns and all those lines, we shortened it down to just these 10 steps. Just so you understand now and can explain it to others, what the between milestones is just a description of the steps and the average number of new members you need to get to those steps. So like we showed you on the other chart, to go from 3 to 24 or $25 to $125, it's going to take 4 steps with an average of 5 members per step. And the member will receive additional rebates on each step. So that completes the residual rebate chart explanation. One thing we just always want to point to is that 243 number, where a member is receiving $1,000 a month in residual rebates. It's such a powerful level for changing someone's life, and we're going to compare that when we go through the overage residual rebates in the next section.